Much love, meditator. Welcome to Be More Love. My name is Brooke, and I am a meditation teacher and enthusiast, here to inspire you to meditate and help you understand meditation so that you can find the best ways to make it work for you. But meditation is a rather vast topic, so today I'm just going to be talking about equanimity, what it means to be equanimous, how you can strengthen your equanimity through meditation, why you should strive towards equanimity in life, and how being equanimous can actually make your life better. So the definition of equanimity is mental calmness, a calm state of mind. It's an even temper. It's balance of the emotions, mind, calmness. You get the idea, right? So when you're being equanimous, you're kind of staying in the middle. Here's all the super duper high notes. Here's all the really, really low notes of life. Super high intense emotions, super low stagnant emotions. And when you're equanimous, you're in the middle. You're equal. You're neutral. It's a neutral state of mind. It's a neutrality kind of way of being. And it can be really a hard state to be at. Why? Because of the keywords craving and aversion. Addiction stems from both craving and aversion. You crave good feelings, you try to get to them, to cling to them, attach to them, draw meaning to them. You try to get away from bad feelings. You don't want anything to do with them. They're caca, you don't want it. But both exist, coincide, and in the middle is equanimity. You see both for what they are, and you accept both for what they are. All addiction stems from craving and aversion. So when you're addicted to something, it's not the thing that you're addicted to. It's the emotion behind it. So say that you're meditating. You're doing a 20-minute meditation where you're just focusing on your breath over and over again. You're listening to your breath, you're nothing but your breath, and then a thought arises and you start to get distracted. This could be a pleasant thought. Thinking about either, I can't wait for this to be over so I can eat some ice cream, right? That is your craving. And then you tell yourself, you come back to the breath so that you can just observe that craving rather than cling to it. If you were to cling to it, you would stop your meditation, you would get up, you would get in your car and go get some ice cream. Say you're meditating, and then all of a sudden you have a pain in your low back. And you're like, oh my God, this hurts so bad. Let me just adjust and move my leg really quick so that I can get away from the pain that I'm experiencing in the present moment. It's an unpleasant sensation. You're averting away from it. And what you want to do when you're being equanimous is to observe it instead and accept it. These two practices are quite difficult things, especially when you are doing it for the first time, whether in life or meditation. But when we do it in meditation, it makes it easier for us to practice it during real life. So say you've done your meditation. You managed to stay as still as you possibly could. If you did move your leg to get away from your low back pain, you did it very slowly, completely observing the movement of your leg the whole time until you went back to stillness and returned back to your breath. Maybe a little pain is still there, but you're observing it nonetheless. And you accomplish that. So when you go into your real life, you say, for example, see someone do something that you don't like. Maybe you're both at the store and they're being, they're just cursing at themselves because they're upset about something. Instead of letting that affect you, instead of turning around, walking down the other side of the aisle, instead of confronting that man, and saying that you're upset about what he just did, You just see it for what it is and let it pass. You just pass the man in the aisle, and somehow, some way, it did not affect you emotionally. And you didn't get too wound up in it, and you didn't go off thinking, God, what was that guy's problem? I can't even believe he would be so upset, blah, blah, blah. Weird, simple example. But that is the difference between practicing equanimity and letting your reactions, negative or positive emotions, control you and overtake you. And this is definitely a muscle that you need to exercise in order to get better and better at it. And it takes time. It's hard, especially when you're meditating and your mind keeps reverting back to a pleasant thought, like something awesome that happened yesterday. It makes you happy, so you keep thinking about it. Like, it could be, something like sex, or if you drink, you could be thinking about, can't wait to go out to the bar tonight, whatever. But when you're meditating, you're practicing just observing those thoughts, not getting caught up in them, so you keep thinking about them and thinking about them and thinking about them, so that you could, make a good feeling in your body, so it makes it easier for you to meditate, because, the good feeling that came from the thought is kind of helping you be there. Instead, you want to keep reverting your attention back to the breath over and over again. See the good feelings for what they are, see the bad feelings for what they are equally, because in life, there's always going to be both. There's always going to be great times, there's always going to be bad times. And the more that we cling to one or the other, the more it keeps perpetuating, spiraling, creating more craving and more aversion. And that, again, is how addictions are formed. It doesn't have to be to anything serious like drugs or alcohol. It could be addiction to food. It could be addiction to sleep, sex, anything like that. Holding on to one thing too much puts our life out of balance. When our life, our emotions, our thoughts are more in balance, we just have a better fucking life that way. So, when you're able to be equanimous in your daily life, as you're going out there, doing your thing, living your life, the ripple effect happens within you, out to people around you, out to everything that you're connected to in your life. When you're able to not react to something that upsets you, it is so profound. When you're able to not get too worked up or too upset over something, it completely changes the situation 9 times out of 10 in your favor. Most of the times in ways that you wouldn't even expect, that you cannot guess, but it just happens that way. So why should you practice being equanimous? That, and it's just the way of nature. Nature is equanimous all the time. It's equal, it's neutral, it does its thing. It doesn't try too hard, it just exists, it just is. Equanimity is just existing and just being. It's the balance of mind, a balanced state, a balanced sense of self and well-being. So, anytime that you meditate, whether it's a specific guided meditation or an unguided meditation that you're doing on your own, it is key to practice equanimity over and over again, coming back to the present moment, coming back to neutrality, coming back to things that aren't dogmatic, that don't favor a certain thing. It's seeing everything just exactly as it is, and accepting everything just exactly as it is, moment to moment, over and over again. It's just profound. It'll change your life for the better. It'll make you a better person. It'll balance your emotions. It'll help you be... Now, let me just say, it sounds boring, right? To just be in the middle, just be neutral. What, I'm not allowed to be super duper happy? I'm not allowed to be super duper excited about something? Of course you are. I'm telling you, you're going to be happier more often if you keep practicing equanimity. Because when you don't get too caught up in hate and you don't get too caught up in love and you stay in the middle, that's where contentment is, and that is where happiness is. Say your boyfriend just broke up with you and you didn't want to break up, and that's a horrible thing, and you're upset about it. Your boyfriend you loved, you cling to him, you cling. So aversion and craving kind of go together. You want to get away from the pain of your boyfriend breaking up with you. You want to cling to the love that you had with your boyfriend. And it spirals and it spirals and it spirals. And you're allowed to feel those feelings and those emotions of the pain and of the love. You have to, in order to be equanimous. In order to accept something, you have to feel it fully. You have to know, accept, and see what it is, instead of spiraling and producing more and more and keep tying these knots of heavy emotions. You're allowed to feel your emotions. Don't you want them to be lighter? Don't you want them to be easier to handle? Don't you want them to not control you? There's a plane. Life is so much better when you learn more and more how to not let your emotions and thoughts overcome you and control you to the point of destruction. Because say you get so caught up in the hurt and pain of the breakup or whatever hard thing you're going through that it starts to define you and you start to act out of that pain, the ripple effect is not going to be a good one. The ripple effect that happens from equanimity is a good one. So the more you become equanimous, the more you're in tune with the natural state of nature, accepting the constant change of everything that is, and the more that what is meant for you comes to you naturally. That's how nature works. Everything it needs, it naturally produces and happens naturally for it. So yeah, I really hope that this has helped you understand equanimity. I hope it's made you want to be more equanimous. I hope now it's something that you want to stride towards in order to help your life and help existence within itself. The more that you heal within yourself, the more it just radiates out into other things around you, everywhere. As within, so without, they say. The only way out is in. And that phrase means if you want out of the pain that life has brought you, if you want out of all the misery, you have to look within yourself and find, practice, and exercise the things that you cannot get anywhere else besides within you. Your mind, emotions, body, being, your psyche, your soul. So thank you so much for listening today. I really hope it helped. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can contact me with the info in the description. Otherwise, I want to remind you that no one can experience your life but you. So let's close our eyes and focus on our breath.